What up? What up? It's your boy RBA from VA, Richmond to be exact, and I'm back again, back like I never left. Yeah. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we got a special guest on the show. I've been wanting to get this man on here for a while. I love what he does. He takes some phenomenal pictures. So I want to do a little something different. Last week we brought on another podcaster, Rio Robinson. A lot of you guys know him, but this week I wanted to bring on somebody that uh, looks at the game as a fan, but also in another aspect because he's actually a part of taking photographs for the NFL for the Washington Commanders. So, with that being said, I got my man Surge on here. If you want to go ahead and plug any of your social medias, stuff like that. Introduce yourself, man.
All right, so SurgeTheShooter on Instagram or SurgeTheShooter.pics. That's where all my pictures at. SurgeTheShooter on Twitter. You can follow Sports Journey. That's who I work with under Lake Lewis, a reporter for the Commanders.
Okay.
That's where we at with it.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about. So you grew up in Richmond, graduated. You said TJ, stuff like that. I'm from Richmond as well. That's why I go by RBA as my screen name. Love the city.
Sure.
Now I'm in Cleveland, but I'm back and forth. I'm all over. I'm all over the East Coast. So, when you were growing up, how old were you when you first started watching Commanders, or what's your backstory on how you liked Washington?
My whole family like Washington.
Okay.
So grew up into that. Really started watching football like into it was like 6th and 7th grade.
Okay.
I really started to understand. And then playing Madden, I started knowing all the players and stuff. So I could tell you the whole roster while I was about 11, 12 years old.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, most definitely. Like, I know for me, my stepdad, he's the one that got me to like in Washington because he grew up in North Carolina, and back then they didn't have a team. Now they got the Carolina Panthers, but back then, it was all about the Washington Redskins. So, I used to always check it out with him. But like you said, Madden and just sticking around once I got a little bit older. Like I loved playing football, but far as like the actual, watching the NFL, it didn't really click for me until probably, like you said, around like 6th, 7th grade. You hit it pretty much in the head. So when did you start to get involved in the actual photographing? Like what led you down that route?
So I graduated high school 2014.
Okay.
My homeboy was DJing around the city. I wasn't doing that. He said, man, be my cameraman. Never touched a camera in my life. So he taught me how to do that. And I record him. But as me, always liking football, I said, I'm going to take pictures of football. Went to the training camp, started doing that. And then one day I just was like, I'm going to hop on Twitter, hit up a couple not commanders, Redskins reporters. I started telling them, if you need a cameraman, hit me up. One of them responded like, yeah, I could use you. I thought he was playing. I met him. That same season, I think Jay Gruden had got fired. He hit me up and was like, you start the day. Come up to Ashburn. And he started working. So I started the day that Jay Gruden got fired.
Wow. And it's crazy to hear your actual story because like before you came on and just looking at your work and stuff like that, like I know because I graduated from Verona, and I know in Henrico they had a bunch of different you could take these tech classes where you could do different stuff like that. Of course, I didn't take advantage of it at the time. I was a little knucklehead, but I thought, just thinking to myself, I'm like, I bet you that's the route he went. But it's actually dope to know that you actually kind of got it out the mud in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
I was trash too, man. I was trash.
You wouldn't even know, man. That's crazy to think that. So you said that, you linked up with then Washington Redskins, now Washington Commanders, journalist, right?
Yeah, it's journalist.
Okay. So, and that's how your whole thing went. So I got to ask you this. So now that you're in the position that you're in, when you when you go to get this, your shots and everything like that,
Mhm.
how do you view it from your aspect of what you do in your job?
So like if I'm shooting the offense, I'm like 10 yards in front of the ball. And depending on where I think the ball may go, like if I think he ready to pass it, I'm gonna track the ball. So I'm gonna follow the quarterback and track the ball. But like if you was to hand it off, I mean, of course, check the running back. It's like you gotta play football.
Right.
In
Okay.
some sense, you just gotta play football.
Okay.
It's kind of harder with NFL though, because in high school we're gonna run the ball like 50, 60 times.
Right.
In the NFL, they're gonna throw the ball like 25, 30 times. It's
Right.
harder to track who you might throw the ball to with like 4, 5 different receivers out there.
Right.
So you just gotta play football,
Okay.
anticipate.
Okay. That's cool to know that because, like I said, you would never think like you just think like, oh, take a bunch of pictures and then
Yeah.
hopefully I hit
Look,
on one of them.
if
But
I take if I go to training camp and I take like 500 pictures, only
yeah,
about 40 I'm gonna be fire.
right,
That's how it be.
right. Okay, so out of now, I know you've taken. I mean, I probably couldn't even say the amount of pictures you probably taken
Like
over the years. But out of all those, what was that one moment or one picture that like you was like, man, I can't believe I got that.
my first year out there on the road in Carolina, what it was. I can't remember who threw the ball, but Kelvin Harmon had a one-handed in the end zone. I caught the shot. He didn't catch the ball, but I
Oh,
mean, I had the shot of him with the one-handed with the ball in there. I was like, yeah, I'm tough for this, but he ain't catch the touchdown, but I'm gonna make it look like he caught the touchdown.
right,
But once I got that, I was like, okay, I'm good at anticipating where the ball can go and like tracking it and getting a sharp image. So this for me right here.
right.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I gotta ask you, it is football and it's competitive. And so I figure there's also a competitive sense when it comes to other photographers. I mean, is there ever any tension there or a guy in your way, or how does that whole thing go on? Like who sets up where and stuff like that?
For the most part, you just gotta get to the spot first. Like on this sideline, it's about 30 people all lined up.
Yeah.
Some of them stand up tall, some of them get the low angles. For the people don't really be in your way until it's that one shot. Like if you shooting the game, everybody got their own section. But if somebody score a touchdown, everybody want that one celebration shot. So they might put their arm in your way. You just gotta respect it.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
gotta respect it.
Yeah.
You don't want to
That's
cause no problems out there.
right, right.
Yeah.
So since you've been on this journey and everything, what what um what situation or like what really caught you off guard, like a certain game that you were at or opportunity that were presented with, what's something that sticks with you far as that?
Before we played the Giants, I was in Ashburn, walked past Adrian Peterson. I was like, hey man, I'm gonna get a picture of you this
That's
Sunday.
tough.
I said, when I take the picture, I'm gonna send it to you. Post it and tag me. He said, I got you. I took the picture, sent it to him. Like 2 weeks that went past, I'm like, man, Adrian Peterson ignored me.
Right,
Then like December 31st, the last day of the year, he posted it and he tagged me. I was like, "Oh, I got a post and a tag from a future Hall of Famer.
oof,
No, I
that's
belong
tough.
here. Yeah. That's like that one moment that stand out because it's still up there. I didn't screenshot it. I said, a future Hall of Famer posted my picture.
Yeah,
I'm tough. I'm like that.
yeah, yeah, that is tough, man. I gotta ask you as well, I'm over here looking at it, how did you come up with the name Surge the Shooter? I mean, that thing, I mean, you know
So I think we was in a club and my homeboy was DJing and I was going by Serge Ibaka at the time,
okay.
just stealing Serge Ibaka name from the NBA. And one time he was on the mic and he just said, I got this shooter with me. And I was thinking, like, that's it. He was like, what's it? I said, the shooter. So he got back on the mic. He said, we got SurgeTheShooter in the building. And that was like the hardest thing. Everybody started turning around, like, SurgeTheShooter, that's hard. You should change your name to that. I was like, nah, it ain't gonna click. But I had finally changed my name to that on Instagram, and everybody was like, SurgeTheShooter gotta be one of the hardest nicknames I heard. So I got the logo made and been with me ever since.
Nah, that's tough, man. And it's crazy, like when you think about stuff and you know you trying to brand yourself or you coming up with stuff and
Yeah,
something just click like, oh man, that's tough.
I ain't know what I was gonna go about. Like Serge Ibaka, I couldn't steal that man name for forever.
Right, right. Yeah, most definitely. But nah, you definitely hit it on the head with Surge the Shooter. That name is one of the hardest in the game. I'm not gonna lie to you. So now that we didn't covered a little bit of that stuff, let's talk about it's so you're a fan and you also take photos. Do you ever catch yourself sometimes, where you're like kind of sidetracked with like, oh man, I want to check out this, but you know that you should
actually, actually, nah.
no?
Cause like when I first came on to this field, Lake had already told me, he was like, you gotta sit the fandom aside. You gotta be in reporter mode. You can't be biased. So every time I go out there, I really just be chilling. I don't really say nothing to nobody. I'll talk to a player off to the side. It wouldn't hit me till I go home. I'd be like, I just had a full conversation with this person and that person. I can hit them up anytime on Twitter. They'll respond. It's just cool, but I keep it to a minimum until I go home. Think to myself, like, I'm really in the building.
Okay, okay, that's definitely what's up. So what is your schedule like? Far as it a year round thing for you, or is it only between I mean, pretty much now they done made it to where football is year round. I mean,
Yeah.
with all of the stuff. But far as your scheduling, like, do you really get activated once training? I mean, mini camp and OTAs start, or is it just an all year round thing for you?
With just NFL, or just photography in general.
Well, I figured you could go ahead and talk about some of the other stuff you do with photography, but I
So,
figured that specifically the NFL stuff.
so the NFL stuff before COVID, it was like a year round thing.
Okay.
We'll shoot a podcast in the mall, and he'll bring on different guests. He actually used to co-host it with Morgan Moses.
Okay.
So every Monday we'll be in Pentagon City Mall shooting a podcast. Then COVID happened, so we shut that down. So now it's just like it's slow after this season until about free agency pop up. And I'll probably start typing articles because I can't take pictures.
Right.
And OTAs roll around, then it's time for me to do my thing.
Okay. And during the training camp week, do you make the commute back and forth to Richmond or?
I go up there like once or twice a week.
Okay.
Can't go up there 5, man.
Okay.
That's 2 hours killed.
Do you see any movement in your future, or you kind of just like, you know what?
I don't think so.
Nah.
I mean, it'll be easier, but I don't know, man. I like Richmond.
Yeah, okay, 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 okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I had to get out of Richmond. I just got to a point where, for me, I needed to move on. But,
Feel that.
at the same time, it'll always be home. And I definitely come through
Cleveland,
as much as I can.
what about Cleveland? About what, 6 hours?
Yeah, yeah, about from Richmond 8 hours, and then from Maryland is 6 hours. So not
That's
too bad.
like it's
Yeah,
like
not too bad. I was in Florida for 6 years. I literally just moved to Cleveland 6 months ago.
that's what's up. That's what's
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. So, far as so you've been at all the mini camp OTAs and stuff
yeah.
like that. What's the one player out there that you like, man? This dude is an absolute dog.
So it had to be Jahan Dyson. He probably make at least 2 plays every practice where he said he a dog. Just him beating any cornerback on the roster,
Yeah.
like he can just get open at will. It don't matter if you the number 1 corner, number 2 corner, he gonna get open regardless, about 2-3 yards of separation each time.
Okay, okay. Yeah, and it's crazy because I love me some Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an absolute dog. But I think a lot of people, I've been saying this repeatedly, a lot of people, don't understand the fact of like, yeah, we were looking for a number two for Terry, but we took
Mhm.
Jahan in the first round. So we should be expecting for him to be actually better than Terry McLaurin
Yeah,
because
you
we
got a
took
high.
Terry in the third. So we just got a steal basically.
Yeah, really got to steal.
Yeah. Another question I want to ask you, because it's been kind of quiet. I had some people asking me about Jamin Davis. You're at camp every day. Do you see the growth in him? What do you think? What should we expect from him this year?
So he flashed several times. Not really no big plays. I did see the day that they say he made 3 plays in a row. But the days where I was out there, you can see him getting to the ball, always around the ball. But it won't really like no big plays, no interception, no big stops. It's just he's always around the ball, which is a
Okay.
big jump because he used to get stuck in traffic a lot last season. So I see the progression. It's coming.
Okay. Okay. Out of all of the games on the schedule this year, like for me, this schedule, like just with adding Carson Wentz to it, just made this thing like, I mean, week one, we got Jacksonville, the team he last seen and lost to. We
Yeah.
got to see the Eagles twice, first time in week three. Then we also get to travel to Indy. I mean, this schedule's pretty storybook to me. Like it's crazy. Out of all the games, what game are you looking most forward to shooting and seeing?
So shooting wise, I gotta get Aaron Rodgers.
Oof.
I feel like this is my last chance to get Aaron Rodgers. So I gotta get him. And most forward to seeing gotta be Carson going back to Philly. I
Mm,
think everybody wanna see that.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, if he can go
Okay.
up in there and get a dub, I wanna see how that place react.
Yeah, most definitely. And so I think I heard you earlier. You traveled to some of the games or all the games.
I traveled to some, like
Okay.
the one that's close.
Okay.
I don't really see myself go far yet.
Okay.
Might want to make that 49ers trip this year though. I might
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah, that'll definitely be dope, man. So are you, far as fandom wise, are you more on the optimistic side this year, or are you kind of just like wait and see?
I'm on the optimistic side.
Okay.
I just feel like if we can win 7 with Heineke, then 7 a year before that with a bunch of quarterbacks, you can win like 10 with wins. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you can win with 10 wins.
Yeah. And that's been my argument the whole time is like, I mean, even just looking at the history of Ron Rivera, I think he's only had one season under 7 wins.
Yeah,
Um, and then outside of that, he's had at least, I mean, seven. I mean, and then like you said, you made a perfect point. We won 7 games with Taylor Heineke at quarterback, who, don't get me wrong, I like to call him a playmaker because that's what he is. But
he
with
exciting.
yeah, he exciting. But when being a playmaker, he also makes mistakes. That
Yeah,
goes along with it. But
that's it.
now adding Carson Wentz, like you said, I don't see a scenario, knock on wood, outside of injury, that
Mm.
we don't touch at least 10 wins. So I'm right along with you on that one for sure. So I seen today there was some smoke around the Antonio Gibson situation. You were there? Were you at practice today?
Nah.
Okay. So it was reported. I did a video on it earlier. It's reported that they had Gibson with the special teams on the punt protection unit, and also he was with the third team doing reps today in practice. And
Right.
then also yesterday they said that uh, Brian Robinson was getting most of the first team reps in the 7-on-7s and also the 11-on-11s. Now, do you think there's fire here or this is just smoke? What do you think?
I mean, it's kind of both, especially when Ron Rivera said what he said today about all positions and competing and all of that. So, I mean, he always said he won't players to compete at a position, nothing is cemented and all of that stuff. So, of course, it's some fire in there, but then there's some smoke too because You want Robinson to get reps behind the number one O line.
Right.
When he comes spare Gibson, he can run behind that number one O line. So he deserves some number one reps too. But the AG disrespect, he gotta tone down a little bit.
And that's my thing too. Like I've been an Antonio Gibson supporter since day one. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at his rookie season, man, even last year, I mean, outside of the fumbling, we know the fumbling is a big issue. We can't have it, but you can't lie and say that there's not dynamic talent there. I mean,
Mhm.
one of the best like shots for me was when he was waving at Dallas in that Dallas game. That thing is iconic, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Was that Thanksgiving? Was it a Thanksgiving game?
Yeah, I think that was the
Yeah.
Thanksgiving game. He was waving at Dallas, man.
Jeez.
Yeah. Um, Lucky, we got a comment from Lucky. He said all three running backs did the same thing today. Um, Punt protection, 1, 2, and I mean 1 second and third. Yeah, I heard that. I heard after a while, Ron was in his presser. And one thing that Ron said in his presser that I took notice was when they asked, was it a competition? He said, every position has always been a competition. And I thought to myself, Ron, you didn't have that same tempo earlier in camp, but he seemed a little frustrated today. I don't know if you heard what happened in camp or why was he so frustrated today in camp.
No, I ain't heard nothing. I heard that it was some fire in him when he answered a couple questions though.
Yeah, yeah,
But then again, like with the whole position up for grabs or whatever thing, he been saying that for like the last 2 years. He want guys to compete. Nobody has a spot cemented though. So I understood it today.
okay, okay. Like he says, yeah, yeah, MF has got Gibby looking depressed. He had a good day today in practice, though. And like I said, I'm a Gibby supporter, man. You can ask Surge. Surge sent me some pictures. One of the pictures I asked for was a picture of
Yeah.
Antonio Gibson. So
I actually after that preseason game, I was in the tunnel when he came through. I dapped him up. He was decent. He was good. I even hit him up on Twitter, talked to him,
yeah,
to tell him like, bro, you still a dog, bro. Like the outside noise,
yeah,
that ain't nothing. He responded, and that was that. But he gonna be straight, man.
yeah,
I believe.
yeah. It's crazy to me that it went from and I get it, fans stand for fanatics, and everybody on Twitter think that their takes are law and stuff like that. But early in camp, it went from, oh, Gibson is in the best shape of his career, we
Yeah,
should expect a monster year, or he sounds good in his pressers, he sounds confident. And then, like I said, it's unfortunate he put the ball on the ground. You can't, we can't make an excuse for that. But at the same time, I mean, like I said, the dynamic ability is still there, I believe.
yeah, it is. It's like when the ball hit the ground, I couldn't. I was like, man, out of everything he could have did,
Yeah,
miss a couple of holes, anything. When he put the ball on the ground, I knew it was coming. I got
yeah,
right on Twitter, started saying the tweets. But I like Brian Robinson. He see the hole quick. He hit it. He run with his shoulder square. He gonna embrace contact, all of that. I just don't want them to put them two together because we need both of them. That
yeah.
backfield could be crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I told Rio last week. I said, man, when you look at this, and I also did a video, um, I think earlier this month, and I was talking about how we could possibly have, without doubt, the best running back room in the East. I mean,
Yeah,
when you look at the different styles of backs, and people don't realize how important JD McKissick is, man.
right.
JD McKissick on third down is an absolute dog.
Stole him from Buffalo. You know he
Yeah,
important.
yeah. Lucky another comment. Chase stayed 30 minutes after in the back corner alone doing drills. Cole Turner and another tight end stayed too in the middle catching from the machine. Yeah, you like to see that, man. Guys stepping, stand back. Guys, it seemed like guys are bought in, and you love to see that. That's funny you brought up Chase because that's exactly who I was ready to talk about next. I gotta see. I'm going to this year. I will be at the week 1 game versus Jacksonville. So I can't wait for that. But I want to see Chase Young in person. What this because like when you see him like standing next to people and pictures and stuff like that, this dude looked like a monster. How big is this dude, man?
All right, so around people I know, I'm tall, but when you get around like people his size, like I automatically become short, and I'm 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
That's a big dude. I don't even like to stand next to him when he around. I don't want to feel like no punk or nothing. He just
Yeah.
a big dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
man.
He's crazy big, man. And you always see in the clips he's super boisterous and stuff like that. Is he like that at all times?
He just a hype dude all times. Like the fact that he not in uniform right now, he not playing, he's still probably one of the loudest dudes on the field. You need that.
Yeah.
Like it just spread through the whole field, man. He get hyped, then the whole defensive line get hyped, the whole defense get hyped. Now the offense talking trash at him, and he not even in uniform.
Right. So we know we're gonna have to wait a little while on Chase Young. But with that being said, do you think what do you expect from Chase when he come back? Because we know he won't have the whole season, but we all got to address the elephant in the room. Last season was very underwhelming. We didn't get the production that we were expecting. So now with him having a shortened season, I mean, we can't expect 15 any crazy sack number. So what number would you be okay with as far as is Chase Young coming back?
What he had rookie year, was it
Seven and a half.
7.5? If he can just get over that number,
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Uh, Maybe a script fumble, something like that. He just
Mm-hmm.
gotta make some impact plays,
Yeah.
not necessarily even sacks for real. Just if he can just force other people to get sacks, Jonathan Allen, Payne, he
Right.
doing his job, contain his edge. That's all I need from Chase. Just
Okay.
contain his spot, make impact plays, hopefully get over 7 sacks.
Yeah, it's crazy you said that because I talked about it and it was like his rookie year he had 7.5 sacks, but for me, like you said, the impact plays, man. I mean, some of the plays he made in the spots that he made them, that's what we need. These third downs are absolutely killing me, man. That first preseason game, I'm looking at it and I'm like, the defensive line is getting pressure, and this is without Chase. I'm like, but this back end is, I mean, every time I look around, I see number 36, Danny Johnson, getting cooked up. So,
It was like the Panthers were playing catch. It's like ball snap, 2 seconds is out to a receiver wide
yeah,
open
yeah,
like that.
yeah. So we got another comment. Jay, love to shop, love your show. Really appreciate the support. Salute. Um, Another comment from Lucky. I swear I haven't ate since practice. They got me feeling like a fat MF. Jamin looking crazy too. That's good to hear, man. I'm glad Jamin looking decent because we definitely need it, man.
Yes, sir.
Another comment, Lucky. Chase looks good. I don't see him missing more than 2 games, jumping around and all. I surely hope so, but I also want to caution rushing him back. I want when he comes in, I want him to be able to come in, and feel comfortable playing on that leg. So
Yeah, it's gonna be about 4 to 6 probably.
yeah. So now that we started talking about the defense a little bit, like I said, I kind of mentioned it. The back end scares me. It's specifically the corners because my fear is outside of the starters, which we got Kendall Fuller, uh, um,
Jackson,
Jackson, and
Saint.
then St. Juice. The depth behind that, I just don't see it. What about this guy, Steven Parker? What have you been seeing from him at camp?
I I hadn't really seen nothing to the game. Like he
Okay.
caught me by surprise. I was like, who was 16?
Okay.
I don't know if he was just recently signed or what, but like he popped out a whole lot in the game. I was expecting Corn Elder to pop out more in that first game because he's somebody that's been having a good camp as well.
Right.
So if Corn Elder could have a nice showing this Saturday, I'm confident in the secondary. Like those four, I'm good. Now in the fifth and sixth spot, who we got? Christian Holmes.
And
He didn't look good at sometimes, but he young.
and then Danny Johnson, man.
Andy Johnson, and then there's some other guys
Yeah.
further down the roster. It's really gonna come down to that sixth spot, though. I think Christian Holmes. I think he make the roster.
Yeah, I think he left to make the roster. For the most part, from what I remember during the preseason game, it was pretty quiet on this side. And typically, when it's quiet on your side, because like I said, they were absolutely torching. Every time I looked at the screen, I seen 36
Yeah,
and 36 Danny Johnson. I mean, it literally looked like you said, pitch and catch 7-on-7, whatever you want to call it. It was an ugly sight to see for sure.
hoping St. Jude's come back this Saturday. See how that look first.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, one guy that I want to bring up because it seems like, it's only preseason, but it seems like he's made a huge jump from being with the team in year one to being here in year two, and that's Bobby McCain. Um, that one play where Carolina tried to hit Robbie Anderson over the top,
Deep ball.
deep ball. Bobby McCain was over top finally, and was able to launch the ball out of there. How's Bobby McCain been look? Is he looking like a vocal leader this year, or has he always been a vocal leader, or what are you seeing from him?
Him and Curl got that connection. You can tell that they comfortable now.
Okay.
Like I didn't seen Curl come up a couple times in camp, but mainly he's been back there safety with McCain, and they've been communicating, and they covering these sides of the field. McCain talk a lot of trash too for a little guy. So
Right.
I feel like they're gonna have a good year this year. It started to come along last year late. I think McCain had 2 interceptions
Yeah.
in one game. So yeah, once they got that communication down packed, it was fine. So going into year two, I feel like it's gonna be that same type of vibe. William Jackson another year or two with the team. So the connection is gonna be straight this year. I don't expect them to give up another like 40-yard pass each game.
Yeah, man. I can't. I
It was
can't.
like weeks 1 through 6, it's like a 40-yard pass every game.
Man, there's nothing worse than that Saints game where going into halftime. I mean, that
Callaway,
like, come on, man. Are you serious?
my boy Jameis.
Are you serious? That was absolutely crazy, man. And it happened repeatedly last year. You're like, what is going on?
The Hail
Um,
Mary killed us, man.
yeah. So, you know, I seen Ron's presser after the first preseason game, and it
Yeah,
seems like he's starting to actually, because Ron's always been looked at as like that loyal to a fault, like his coaches is his coaches, and he gonna go to bat for them. But it seems like this year in particular, Ron knows, you know, it's a sense of urgency, and he's actually holding these coaches accountable with the firing of Sam Mills III. And then in his presser after the preseason game, he said he went up to Jack Del Rio in the second quarter and said these third and longs and these seconds and longs being converted is not acceptable. Do you see? Do you see at the end of this season, if the defense isn't up to standards, do you think that Ron holds on to Jack, or you think he actually axes him after the season?
if the defense not top 12 to 15 in the league, I think they're real gone. And it kind of made it easier to let them go because of the stuff that happened this summer. So
Yeah.
that's a factor in too. But if they're not 12 to 15 in the ranks in defense, he gonna be like go. Like I told people, year 3 Ron very active.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people been telling us. Like year 3 is gonna be the telling year. He got a quarterback now. They feel like he got the tools. Scott Turner gonna call the offense from the sideline now. You got all the pieces on defense. Like it's year 3. He gonna make some moves. And if it don't happen, he got to change up his staff a little bit. Scott Turner got an extension, so we know he probably safe.
Right.
Del Rio, he on the hot seat. Chris Harris could be up next for the defensive coordinator position.
That's what I want.
A whole bunch of things that could play in the pot later in the season.
Yeah, most definitely. And like I said, you just brought up Chris Harris. I've been an advocate for him for the last two seasons. I mean, you see this guy in the mic'd up. He get the defense fired up. like these young coaches, man, they the trend, man. Like Sean McVay, he got out the door, but he's one of those coaches that's running down the sideline with his guys, and he's the head coach. You feel me? Chris Harris has that same energy. Is he like that every day in practice?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. Like he'll be about the safeties will be in the back. He'll be about 15 yards off of the safeties.
Yeah.
As soon as a play made, he's sprinting straight down the field. Don't matter if the play was made at the goal line or behind the quarterback. He's running towards the ball.
That's dope, man.
He out there.
Yeah, that's definitely dope. I love when he say, "Oh, you must don't like nice things. You like nice things, yeah." We got a comment from Miss Perry, Surge. You nice with the photos. He's a beast, man.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man, definitely a beast with the photos. Yeah, Jack Del Rio, like you say, you brought up a very valid point. He kind of brought some unwanted and unnecessary attention to himself with all of the outside stuff. So that definitely makes it easier for him, for Ron Rivera to be able to say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and move on from this. So he's put himself in the hot seat here in Washington. So let's start talking about some of the off the field antic stuff. I'm not getting into the guy in the sky, but far as the mascot stuff, how you feel about that? Are you into that, or are you just more like, you know what, I just want to win games?
I mean, I don't really care for the Hogs.
Me either.
But I really don't care about the mascot as a whole. But
yeah,
I know it's gonna be Hogs. I think everybody feel like it's gonna be Hogs. But regardless of what it is, I probably don't pay much attention.
Yeah,
the kids gonna love it though.
Yeah, my thing with the mascot is like, I honestly could care less what the mascot is. The hog thing, I just feel like, they need to let that thing go, man. Like, I get it. It was a part of a great time in history, but it was a position group called the Hogs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, no disrespect. I appreciate everything they did for the franchise, but we need to move on from that, man. That's just my personal opinion.
I never even really seen the Redskins as having a mascot. Like I knew Indians or whatnot. I seen Chief Z as a mascot, but I never really seen like an actual character as a mascot. So moving forward with a mascot, it wouldn't really matter much. I don't think we ever had a mascot before.
Right.
Other than Chief Z.
Right. Another comment from Miss Perry, respect to Lake.
Yeah, he decent. He all right. He put me on.
Okay, that's so Lake is the actual that's the sports journey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So far as the whole fight song, you were there. You heard it. Did you hear it? Or because I know a lot of the players and stuff was like, listen, I was there, but I got so much stuff going on that
they played the instrumental and they put the lyrics on the screen, but I don't think nobody really followed it as they would in the past. The band probably played you could hear the band playing a little bit, but it won't really catch on. Nobody sung it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not gonna sing it.
No, that's my thing, man. Like, it's watered down. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you just gotta let things go, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I never even sung the first one. I never knew the words to the first one for real.
All I knew was the Hail to the Redskins.
I did.
And I think Hail Victory. I think it said that.
Yeah, Fight for DC.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you.
Outside of that, I'm more of like move with the culture and move with the times. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be stuck in the past. I think if anything, they should have just made something totally new, something, that fits in with this generation. No disrespect to, like I said, the older folks that support this team. But, if you're going to do a total rebrand, which they had to do, do a total rebrand. So
I think they don't want to seem like an expansion team, but we got the colors and shoot. That's enough to even track back to the past is the colors.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't want them to change the colors and go with the Nationals, Capitals, red, white, and blue thing.
Yeah.
So it was cool that they kept the burgundy and gold or red and yellow, however you
Yeah.
want to see it.
Yeah. Now that leads me to my next question: which uniform hits the best for you? Which uniform you like? Ooh, that's nasty.
It's gonna be the whites. It's
Okay.
gonna be the whites. But I'm gonna
Okay.
like it. I'm gonna like it better when they wear burgundy tops and white pants. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
more.
Mm-hmm. That's the same thing for me. I said I hope week one they come out with the white jerseys and the burgundy bottoms.
Yeah, either way, like when they mix it up, it's gonna be straight. I'm never really a fan of the one color all the way down thing.
Yeah.
Unless it is all white.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely.
All
Yeah. So I'm excited to see that. I want to be in attendance for one of those blackout games. Specifically, I want to be there for the when Kirk Cousins returns
yeah,
back to DC. I'm gonna try to be there in attendance. That's gonna be absolutely fire.
I forgot about that game. I probably want to see that game more than the one the Carson going back to Philly.
Okay, so that's at the top of the list for you.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
we got
Yeah,
some people that's gonna be wearing some Kirk jerseys and cheering Kirk on.
yeah.
They love them some Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Now listen, I'm not gonna lie. When Kurt was here, I thought it was an absolute mistake, just due to the fact that we hadn't had anything that even resembled outside of the little time with RG3. You
Yeah,
know, a quarterback that could at least give us some type of hope and some type
he
of
was, he
offense.
was solid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
never
like
understood.
we could we could go through the week knowing that we had a competent quarterback to
Yeah,
some degree.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That game when we played Green Bay, I mean,
Which
when he was out there slinging that
oh,
thing,
the night
and
game in the cold weather?
yeah, I think it was a night game. I can't remember the
Rob
exact.
Kelly. I think Rob
Um,
Kelly played.
um, I think. Let me pull it up real quick. I think it was the. I can't remember what game that was, but
It might have been
he.
a Sunday night.
Let me see real quick.
Because I know Jordan Reed had a crazy one-hander in that game. Fat Rob went crazy.
Yeah, that game for me was. I mean, here in Washington, we don't get a lot of times. Yeah, that was a November game, 2016. We beat them boys 42-24.
Yeah.
Um, here in Washington, we not used to getting those games where we can just sit back and chill by halftime or the third quarter.
It
We
was Tampa Bay for me though, man.
Yeah,
Because I was at work and I was missing the game, but I was
right.
checking the score. I think we was down like what 17 or 21-0.
Yeah,
I said, yeah, I'm gonna stop checking the score. I got off work at like 5, 6 o'clock. He was like, man, how Kirk pulled that off? I said, pull what off? He said he won the game. I said, you lying. And that's when the whole you like that thing was going
yeah.
on. I had to watch the whole game back. I'm mad I missed it live.
Yeah, yeah, that game too. I think I was watching it, but I think it was one of those games where I got irritated. I'm like,
Cut it
you know
off.
what? It is what it is. Somebody didn't call me. What you doing? I didn't went out, whatever, and
Yeah,
then find out we won that game. Um, I wanted Kirk Cousins. I was on the Kirk Cousins farm, team. I wanted him to stay, but it
yeah,
is what it is. We got Carson Wentz now. Now, last person I'm gonna bring up. Everybody seems to love this guy, and that's the rookie Sam Howell. Now, what I gotta ask you is, do you see an actual situation, or do you see the potential there that he could possibly be the starting quarterback in a year or so?
yeah. I think it all depends on this year. If Carson ball out, we got Sam Howell riding the bench for about 2, 3 years. That's a good thing.
Right.
If Carson don't pan out, we may be forced to put Sam Howell out there next year. But by next year, I think he picked the offense up for the most part already.
Mm-hmm.
Because he come from a system in college where you're going to learn quick. You're going to be in that pro style ready. So just give him a year. I think he'll be fine. But I want him to be on the bench for at least 2, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because we
Yeah.
ain't never had nobody baking on the bench for at least 2, 3 years.
Right.
Like a
Yeah.
Green Bay.
I'm under the same mindset as you. What I do like is he seems he's not cocky, he's
Yeah,
confident. You know what I'm saying?
got swag.
He's
He got that
he's
swag.
assured of himself. Like, you know, he's not gonna let nobody dictate to him, you know, how he should
Yeah,
feel. You know, because a lot of time the media they ask these loaded questions. Oh, you know, how big of a jump is it from the NFL to, you know, and it was reported that he said, you know, it
it ain't hard.
really, yeah, it didn't really hit him like that. You know what I'm saying? And then he comes out in the preseason game, mind you. You know, I will say it was against, you know, second,
Yeah,
third string and stuff like that, but still, he came out there, and he didn't seem to be flustered or like, you know, the moment was too big for him. So you definitely, with, you know, me seeing that, because I wasn't the biggest Sam Howell guy. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, I didn't dislike him. I just wanted to see what he, you know, what he brought to the
Um,
table.
I just wish he would have came. Well, I don't wish he would have came out a year earlier now because
Yeah,
we got him. But when he stayed in school, I said I gotta watch every Sam Howell game next season. I think that
right.
first game they played Virginia Tech, he didn't
Mm-hmm.
do too good. I
Nope.
was like, eh. But then as the season going back, I'm like, Sam Howell be cooking, but then he'll fall off. I said he could be a good quarterback easily,
Right.
but the deep ball is the thing that everybody wanted to see. I'm waiting to see that like probably Saturday,
Yeah.
at least one time.
Yeah. That was one thing, you know, I want to touch on. I was frustrated that in no way did they get the ball in Jahan's hands. I get it; they took the one shot downfield, and if you look at the a
He
couple people released the video of that, and you see where he had separation. The guy was holding him a little bit, but
right.
you know, for me, I would have liked them to, you know, do something how they did with Curtis Samuel, throw him a little bubble
Yeah,
screen,
that's what I
you
was
know.
ready to say because when the penalty got thrown, everybody in the press box thought it was going to be on the corner that held Jahan.
Right.
It was actually the one that was tackling Terry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they really wanted to showcase that Curtis Samuel back.
Yeah.
I feel like now this Saturday is the game where they say, all right, we get Jahan going.
Right. Right.
But then again, I wouldn't be mad if they don't showcase him at all. And then week one, send him on a 9 route like they did Terry, with like
Yeah.
the previous people did Terry. Because that's what they're going to do with Cole Turner anyway. They
Right.
stash him. Week one, they're going to roll him out.
Right.
But yeah, I hope they get the ball in Jahan hands Saturday.
Yeah. I just want him to get hit.
All
I
right.
want him to feel contact because, you know, sometimes like until you get that little, you know, I know he's a professional and I know he's, you know, he's a football player, but, you know, it's the NFL. Get that first tackle out the way. Okay, I've been hit, you know, now let me go out here and do my thing.
Right.
So I hope they do get the ball in his hand in some form or fashion. Now, you brought up Cole Turner. You've been there. Is he looking like a tight end one in your eyes?
Yeah, definitely. It's like every practice I've probably been out there, he didn't score a touchdown
Mm,
in 11 on 11. It's like
mm,
he's the first look when they get in the red zone.
okay.
So half the time he come down with the ball anyway. So I just it's hard when he going up against our linebackers.
Right.
It's just like, is he that good or our linebackers just not that good? But
Yeah.
if he can come out there this Saturday and ball against the Chiefs linebackers, I don't really know how good they is. I know they got a couple pieces.
Yeah.
Linebacker they drafted last year was
They
nice.
took him out, and it's crazy, so crazy. All last year before the draft, I wanted Bolton so bad. I wanted that man. I knew he was gonna be a dog. And
Yeah,
then what did we do? We didn't take him, and he's in Kansas City,
right.
wreaking havoc right now.
So sure, if he can get on the field Saturday and ball against them, I think we got one.
Okay, okay, that's definitely good to hear, man.
He'll tight end one for sure.
Okay, that's definitely good to hear. And you know, I always wondered. I'm gonna let you out here soon. I always wondered, um, what was it true, you know, with the whole narrative that, oh, Carson Wentz, you know, he loves tight ends, because I had to ask myself, was it only due to the fact that the receivers he played with, or, you know, was it's just him loving tight ends. And I think it was confirmed for me that he loves tight ends because he went to
My
Amari
Ronnie
Rogers.
Rogers. Yeah.
Yeah, often in that ball game, undrafted free agent had 3 catches. It was specific, highlighted really in that
It was
game.
like that same drive was like
Yeah,
two or three passes that same drive.
yeah. And the
He went
first
to
possession, he went to him over the top. Yeah. So
yeah,
he really loves tight ends. So I'm hoping that we can put some Cole Turner out there, some
yeah.
of John Bates, and then when Logan Thomas come back, because it looks like he's definitely going to be feeding them a lot.
The tight end room gonna be underrated, but Carson gonna make it look good.
Yeah, yeah, that's good to see, man. So Um, we almost rolling up on an hour. That's pretty much all I got for you. Um, like I said, I really appreciate you coming on. I wanted to get you on the channel, chop it up with you, man. I love the work that you do.
Appreciate it.
And it's definitely, like I said, a different aspect of the game. We can sit here and talk footballs for hours, but I also want to highlight people's actual professions behind the scenes and what they bring to it because you're definitely a big believe it or not, you're a big part of bringing everything to the forefront and giving us the great photos and shots and stuff like that, man.
Appreciate.
So, anytime you want to come on the channel, like I said, I will be in week 1, so I'm gonna try to link up with you at the game as well. But like I said, I appreciate you coming on. It's your boy RVA from VA Richmond to be exact. Peace.
Yeah.